Shields up, Paladins, and welcome to a For Honor Hero Guide. As you can tell by the title of this video, I will be talking to you all about the Black Prior and how I like to use this particular character. The Black Prior is one of the heavy characters within the Knight faction. He has a medium difficulty rating, as well as he is a defense specialist and has very strong support abilities. His base stats are his health is set to 130, his stamina is set to 120, and his sprint speed is set to 2.4 milliseconds. With all this being said and done, let's go ahead and jump right on over to his feats. His tier 1 feats are Sinister Shield. Grants a shield to your ally by inflicting some damage to yourself. Iron Lungs, which is a passive ability. You can still sprint when out of stamina. And Speed Revive, which is a passive ability. Rapidly revive fallen teammates. His tier 2 feats are Healing Ward, which is a passive ability. Slowly regain health while in Bulwark stance. Doom Banner. Nearby enemies have less powerful attack and defense. And Inspire. Nearby allies deal more damage and soldiers fight faster. His tier 3 feats are Oathbreaker. Remove all shields from target and temporarily prevent them from gaining any more shield. Punch Through, which is a passive ability. Damage on blocked attacks. And Tough as Nails, which is another passive ability. Raises max health when unlocked. And finally, for his tier 4 feats, we have Umbral Shelter, which is for a short time. Generate shields for you and nearby ally. Shields do not stack. Regenerate, which is a passive ability. Regenerate your health when out of combat. And Morale Booster, which is improve the attacks of nearby allies for a short duration. Now, this is one of the characters that I would say is that I have not changed their feats at all. With this being said, is I use their day 1 feats, as in going from top to bottom. So going from their tier 1 Sinister Shield, you grant a shield to your allies by inflicting some damage to yourself. You know, that's looking at that particular feat by itself without looking at Healing Ward on top of that. That doesn't look like too good of a feat by itself. But combined with Healing Ward, it's totally okay. Now, with this particular shield, you do get enough shield to take a heavy and a light with this. And also, if you are playing Breach, you can put this shield on your commander right at the very end to help kind of keep them up just a little bit. But that shield is only temporary, and it doesn't last it doesn't last till it's gone. So that is something else to keep in mind. Now, also, if you put this particular shield on somebody while they are killing the particular opponent, or if they do end up killing somebody with this, you will get the assist on that as well. So that's something to keep in mind while using Sinister Shield. Kind of helps you get the assist. It helps you get more renown, yada yada yada. Now, Healing Ward, which is his tier 2 feat that I use. Doom Banner could be useful. Inspire also could be useful. But the reason why I like to use Healing Ward instead of Doom Banner and Inspire is because everyone in Breach just sits on the daggone healing all the time. So there's really no point to even go down to the healing, because there's always going to be somebody sitting there full health, just camping it, waiting for you to come down to get you some cheap kills. So with that being said, Healing Ward is great. Also on top of that, with, as I was saying, with Sinister Shield, go ahead, give your ally or the commander your shield. You will damage yourself, but go ahead, instantly hop back down in Bulwark stance, and you can start healing yourself. Oathbreaker. Oathbreaker is an amazing feat. This, I would almost say, is a go-to feat. Besides, for his tier 3, he has Punch Through, Tough as Nails. In my personal opinion, this one is almost a definite need on the Prior. Just because if someone goes into revenge, boom, you can pop them with Oathbreaker. that takes their shield instantly away, and then you can go ahead and kill them pretty quickly. Also, on top of that, for an example, if someone puts a shield on the commander, or if someone is putting or keeps putting shields on someone that you're fighting, or if you notice that there's shields everywhere, you can go ahead and pop that on one particular person to help them either with the fight that they're dealing with, or two, you can put that on the commander so where they cannot get any more shields. And that does help with also revenge on top of that. So that is one amazing feat to have on the prior, and it's almost a definite need, if I have to, in my personal opinion. And now finally for his tier 4, he's got two that are interesting. I say interesting, but you could use one or the other, in my personal opinion. I always like to use Umbriel Shelter, which is a shield. That shield gives you about 75% of your overall health. It gives you that shield. That shield pops 3 times. So while you're fighting, specifically right there, again, I'm going to keep using the commander as an example. Right there at the end of a breach game, while your team's trying to hit the commander, or you're trying to defend your commander, and everyone's just going crazy, hitting everybody. You got the minions in the way, yada yada yada. Go ahead, pop that Umbriel Shelter. That's going to give your allies. I even believe even the commander will get hit with a shield, and that will also help keep him up longer, and also keep your team up longer. Now, the only other one that I would change for that would be Morale Booster, because again, Morale Booster does pretty good. It does a lot of good damage output if you're quick enough. Specifically if someone also has Fear itself on or something like that, that's always great to have. But it's always one or the other, in my personal opinion, and I always feel better having more shields and more damage, because I feel like if more shields, you can survive longer, boom, you're good to go. So that, in my personal opinion, I would say don't even change his feats. Leave them just the way they are if you're thinking about using them prior. But that is, of course, my personal opinion. Now, the perks that I do have for him, of course, I would almost recommend these perks for any heavy out there, would be Bastion, Eventual Barrier, and Last Stand. Those will almost be your guaranteed perks for almost any heavy out there, in my personal opinion. So now, with all that being said and done, let's go ahead and jump right on over to his hero-specific moveset. Now, on the screen, you will be seeing the hero tactics of what the game wants to teach you for this particular character. I'm just going to talk about specific things that are tied to this character and everything like that. There will be some things that hopefully I pronounce correctly. If I don't, I do apologize. So, Renown. You earn more renown in outnumber fights by controlling objectives and by killing enemy soldiers to unlock your feats in a match. Revenge mode. Boost damage and health. All attacks are uninterruptible. Parry and throws knock enemies down. Attacks are auto-parried upon activation. Superior block attacks. This is where we start getting into some tricky territory here. So you got the Tenebrous Thrust, has a superior block, becoming unblockable if the superior block is successful. Light attack openers have crushing counter-strike properties, which is a superior block plus the unblockable and enhanced damage when successful. Undodgeable heavy finishers. Heavy finishers cannot be dodged. So you have also a Chain Starter, which is Horizon Spin, Tenebrous Thrust, and Bulwark Slash are Chain Starters. Tenebrous Rising and Hawk's Charge are Chain Starters only if they hit the opponent. Light Chain to Tenebrous Rising. You can press Guard Break after a light opener to chain right into Tenebrous Rising. Hawk's Charge. You press Guard Break during the startup of Heavy Opener to perform a Shield Bash in the forms of Hawk's Charge. Bulwark Stance. In this stance, you can gain a new attack and a regular block in all directions. You can move while in the stance, but you can't Guard Break nor counter Guard Break. Unlike other forms of charged moves or mobile full block stances, Black Prior's movement is not slowed. Instead, their walk speed is slightly faster. So now you have Fast Flow Recovery Cancel. Fast Flow into Bulwark stance after using any normal attack by holding down on the analog stick during the recovery. Fast Flow after block, you hold. This is again going back into that. Hold down on the analog stick while successfully blocking an incoming attack into a Fast Flow into a Bulwark stance. Bulwark slash cancel. Bulwark slash can be canceled during its initial startup by pressing the circle button, since we are on PS4. Bulwark cancel. Bulwark counter is a defensive move that requires timing. If successful, it negates the opponent's attack or unblockable move when successful, leading the Black Prior to toss the target over behind. If multiple enemies attack the Prior during this move, they too will be thrown over the Black Prior to complete the immune to damage while throwing enemies. So then you got the Black Prior sweep, or I'm sorry, the Bulwark counter sweep. This is after throwing all counter foes over their shield. The Black Prior will automatically perform an unblockable sweep attack around them for with their sword to deal damage to all nearby units, focusing on whoever they countered. Bulwark counter exceptions. Although Bulwark counter works even with a bash attack and pins, it will not work on normal guard breaks. And finally, block dodges. Forward, left, and right dodges have block properties in the direction of the dodge. So that is also something to keep in mind as well. So all in all, that is the Black Prior. He's overall a good character. One of the things that I would recommend is make sure you kind of, one of the things that I've noticed is that if there's a decent Prior on the field and they constantly keep flipping, whenever they know if they see a light attack or anything like that, that will cause the enemy team to not really throw an attack and just kind of stand there and wait. And that would be the only thing that I would say with the Prior that he doesn't have is really any decent openers, if that's the case, you know. But all in all, I would say the Prior is a very, very, very decent character and a very strong ally to have on your team if you are deciding to pick up the Prior as well. Very decent character. So hopefully I answered a lot of questions, comments, concerns. Hopefully I answered a lot of different things. And if I did, please drop a like, and I will see you in the next video.